Well, what's up, guys? Jason here for Soulfire, and today I want to talk about the Conquer series. Now, I've led a number of groups through this series, and I thought it would be good to walk through the homework assignments that they provide. One of my favorite things about the Conquer series is that they have excellent follow-up assignments to help you in your road to recovery. So let's open up here and talk about lesson 1 homework assignment. And so they give you a great breakdown on page 25 of what you're expected to do for week 1. Now, as we jump into this idea of follow-up assignments and homework, I got a challenge for you, and that is this. Most men who join a Conquer series group are not going to do the homework assignments. It is going to be extremely challenging for you to build into your life taking part in these homework assignments. But let me tell you, if you want to get the most out of the Conquer series, you've got to do the follow-up stuff. Joining a group is amazing. Watching the video and getting an education is phenomenal. Having other men who are in your life is really going to help you in your journey. But these homework assignments I have found to be gold. The men that I have seen in my groups that take part in engaging in all these follow-up resources made tremendous steps in their recovery during our time in the Conquer series. So the first thing they challenge you to do is to join a Conquer series group. Now, if you've bought the book and you've watched the video, you've probably already accomplished this. So hopefully you've got that one covered. Now, you could do this on your own. You could just watch the content, take notes through your handout, and do some of the assignments on your own. That's not going to be as effective. You really need to join a group, get with some other guys that want to do this road to recovery with you. The second thing that they ask you to do is to take the SAS test. Now, that is the Sexual Addictions Screening Test. We've had all the guys in our groups go ahead and take that test, and it's been pretty interesting. One of the biggest questions that keeps coming up is when you're answering those questions, it can be a little vague, as if you're supposed to answer for where you're at right now in your journey, or if you're supposed to think back through your life and answer those questions. So, for example, for myself, if I answer those questions thinking about where I was maybe later in high school or in college, I'm going to have a whole bunch of yeses, and I'm clearly going to come out as an addict. If I answer where I'm at today, I'm not going to be listed as an addict. And I think the point of the test is for you to look through there and see how much struggle that you have had. Now, some of those may not apply to you, but some of them are, and you're going to struggle with them, and there are going to be times in your life where you felt bad about your behavior. Now, you can actually go ahead and turn to the back of your book, 78, and it's going to walk you through those questions. Take some time, do it. You can also find it online if you prefer to do that. All right, the third thing that they're going to challenge you to do in week 1 is to clean your house of all porn and to protect your internet devices. So what you've got to do here is you've got to ask yourself, what are the things in my life that are causing me to fall back into sin? For most of us, this is going to be our smartphone, perhaps it's your computer, television, whatever the devices are, or maybe it's actually pornographic material that's like print material, and that stuff you definitely need to get rid of. What are the things in your life that are going to hinder your recovery? And then if you leave them there, they're going to continue to be a snare. Now, it's interesting. I always reference this to the Old Testament. In the Old Testament, when a lot of times there'd be revival by a king, and there'd often be this phrase, but he did not destroy the high places. In other words, he left those those old places of worship to foreign gods there so that the temptation remained. And occasionally you'd see a king who actually smashed down the high places and totally destroyed them so that they were no longer an option. And that's what you want to do. This is week 1 of the Conquer series. Hopefully you're getting fired up. You want to see God move you along in your recovery. Well, one of the things you've got to do is take inventory. What are the things in your life that have got to be smashed and destroyed if you were going to move to sexual integrity, if you're going to move to freedom from pornography, from masturbation, and from these other things that have caused you to join the Conquer series in the first place. At this point, you need to find some software that can be helpful. I definitely want to recommend Covenant Eyes. I've been on Covenant Eyes for over 15 years now, and I highly recommend it. Most of the men that join my group, I try to get them onto Covenant Eyes. Now, if you're a part of a local church, you can have your church actually create a group for Covenant Eyes. A group account can be significantly cheaper. If you don't have a group plan option, you can have an individual account through Covenant Eyes. And Covenant Eyes will allow you to monitor your personal computer. It'll allow you to monitor your smartphone and your tablet and some other devices. As far as I'm aware, there's no way to monitor internet-connected gaming devices and things like that. So if that's a problem for you, I would challenge you to get rid of those things. If you need to create an individual account for Covenant Eyes, you can click the affiliate link that's in the description for this video. That will actually help support this channel. It will enable you to open an account through Covenant Eyes. Now, the fourth thing they're going to challenge you to do in week 1 is to call each member of your group. Now, most of you are probably not in the habit of calling other men throughout the week to catch up, and that's the point. The point is that you and I need other men in our lives, and the guys in my group that have done these things, it's been very effective. A lot of times they'll figure out the times that they're in their commute to and from work. They can call one another, say, hey, how are you doing today? What are you thinking? What's going on? These conversations do not need to be long, 5 to 10 minutes. It's for you and I to know there are other men who are going to be reaching out to us. They're going to be contacting us. They're going to be in our lives. They want to help. There's other men with you on the journey. Resist the temptation to say, hey, I don't need that. The hardest thing here is for you to connect with the other men. Do it when you're there with your group. Connect with them. Find a good time that works to call. And then the last thing they challenge you to do in week 1 is to begin to journal your battles. Now, you may be thinking, why should I journal my battles? You're not in the habit of journaling. But what we want you to do is we want you to move away from mindlessly falling into the same old habits and patterns that have gotten you to where you're at right now. Journaling is a way to essentially hack the system, for you to begin to practice mindfulness, to begin to understand, why do I struggle with the things that I struggle with? How am I putting myself into the place of temptation? What do I need to be aware of in terms of how I'm feeling? What's triggering me? What can I share with the men in my group next week, what I learned from my journaling? Think about it this way. If you're typically in the habit of coming home from work, or maybe you're a college student and you have a lot of free time, you're in the habit of sitting around watching TV, watching Netflix, scrolling on your phone, and you know that inevitably you fall into temptation. Well, how much different is it going to be if you begin to build a new habit where you open up your journal, you begin to process, how am I feeling today? What temptations have occurred in my life? What are the things that I need to be aware of? When was I most tempted? Or when you act out, to actually begin to process and journal why you acted out. What led to it? What were the emotions that you were feeling? Now, if you've never done any journaling and you need a little help, you can flip to page 44 in the Volume 1 handout, and it actually has the introduction to the FASTER scale. The FASTER scale can be a great way to help you process your emotions. You can also just Google the FASTER scale and you'll see that come up too, and you can begin to walk through it. The FASTER scale they'll talk about later on in the Conquer series, but you can start using that right away. One of the things you can do is go ahead and buy the Conquer series journal. It's a really good resource if you're new to journaling and you want something that will guide you through the journaling process. If you don't want to spring for the funds for the Conquer series journal, just use a regular journal and begin to process your battles. Another phenomenal thing you can do during the journaling process is to write out scripture. What key scriptures come to mind for your battle? Write those out by hand. Begin to let the Word of God soak into your mind as you journey to recovery. So that's it for the week 1 homework assignments. Let me challenge you to do those things. You may have to ask yourself, what time am I going to do these things? When am I going to set up my daily schedule? I highly recommend that you get up early, grab some coffee, and begin to work through some of those things, especially the journaling assignments. Well, I hope this video was helpful. If you want to see more content like this, click the subscribe button. If you've got questions or comments, add to the discussion below. And if you want to support the channel, check out the Covenant Eyes affiliate link below. Covenant Eyes can help you along your journey to recovery by providing accountability software on your phone, your computer, and other digital devices that you use. Thanks so much. This is Jason for Soulfire. I'll catch you in the next one.